Good morning and welcome. It's 9 a.m. and we're here on Tuesday, May 19th, 2026 for our Administrative Matters meeting for the Larimer County Board of County Commissioners. I call this meeting to order and I ask that you stand and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. To the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you all for joining us for the Pledge of Allegiance, however you were able. I am Larimer County Commissioner Jody Shad McNally, Chair of the Board of County Commissioners, and I welcome you. Thank you for joining us today. I'm joined at the dais by my colleagues and fellow commissioners, Commissioner Kristen Stevens and Commissioner John Kafalis. We're also joined by our clerk to the board for this morning. We have Lindsay Tracy. Thank you, Lindsay, for being here today. And we have our county manager, Lorinda Volker, Tom Clayton from the Commissioner's Office and Public Information Office, and also we have Sarah Martin from the Commissioner's Office. Thank you all for being here and supporting our meeting today. So we'll go on to public comment, and we have no one signed up. We have no one in the audience, but I'll see, sir, I will just go ahead and call it out. Does anyone in the room want to give public comment?
No one's online, Commissioner.
Okay, and there's no one in the room, so we'll close public comment. Colleagues, we'll move on to approval of the minutes. Is there any adjustments or changes? So I'll ask Commissioner Stevens to please make that motion.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I move to approve the minutes for the week of May 11th, 2026.
Thank you for that motion. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
That passes 3-0. All right, we'll move on now to our upcoming schedule. Sarah, I'll have you share with our schedule. Thank you.
This is the Commissioner's schedule for May 25th through the 30th, 2026. On Monday, May 25th, county offices will be closed in observance of the Memorial Day holiday. On Tuesday, May 26th, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., there will be an Administrative Matters meeting in the hearing room on the first floor. From 1 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis may attend the Mission Reconnect Coalition meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be in the Boyd Lake Conference Room on the first floor or virtually via Zoom. From 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m., there will be administrative direction to county management in the Sprague Lake Conference Room on the second floor. On Wednesday, May 27th, from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may attend the North Fort Collins Business Association meeting at the Rocky Mountain Innisphere at 320 Vine Drive in Fort Collins. From 10:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., there will be a liquor license hearing for Coleman Kessler Group, LLC, doing business as Ride-A-Cart and Cascade Creek Mini Golf in the Commissioner's Conference Room on the second floor. From 12 p.m. to 1 p.m., there will be a Commissioner Casual Conversation in the Sprague Lake Conference Room on the second floor. From 1:30 p.m. to 3 p.m., there will be a work session with Emily Humphrey, Director of Community Justice Alternatives, in the Commissioner's Conference Room on the second floor. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., Commissioners Kafalis and Shattuck McNally may attend the Community Advisory Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at the Larimer County Loveland campus at 200 Peridot Avenue in Loveland or virtually via Zoom. From 6:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Fair Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at the McKee 4-H Youth and Community Building at 5280 Arena Circle in Loveland or virtually via Zoom. On Thursday, May 28th, from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may participate in the virtual Colorado Fire Commission prescribed fire subcommittee meeting. From 9:45 a.m. to 10:45 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally will speak at the Colorado Workforce Development Council meeting at the YMCA of the Rockies at 2515 Tunnel Road in Estes Park. From 12 p.m. to 1:30 p.m., Commissioner Kafalis will host a community conversation for the Red Feather Lakes community at 58 Firehouse Lane in Red Feather Lakes. Topic will be announced prior to the meeting. From 2 p.m. to 3:30 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Regional Opioid Abatement Council meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at the Larimer County Behavioral Health Services at 2260 West Trilby Road in Fort Collins or virtually via Zoom. From 3 p.m. to 4:30 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may participate in the virtual non-attainment area air pollution mitigation enterprise meeting. From 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., Commissioner Stevens may attend the Fort Collins Urban Renewal Authority Board meeting. It's a hybrid meeting. In person, it will be at City Hall at 200 LaPorte Avenue in Fort Collins or virtually via Zoom. From 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally may attend the Natural Resources Advisory Board meeting at the Larimer County Behavioral Health Services at 2260 Trilby Road in Fort Collins. On Friday, May 29th from 8:30 a.m. to 9:30 a.m., Commissioner Shattuck McNally will participate in the virtual Forest Health Council Legislative Committee meeting. On Saturday, May 30th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., Commissioners Cafalas and Shattuck McNally may attend the Office of Emergency Management Pinewood Lake Evacuation Drill at the Loveland Fire Training Site at 1040 Emergency Drive in Loveland. And from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m., Commissioner Cafalas will attend the Boys and Girls Clubs of Larimer County Great Futures Gala event at the Laurie Student Center at 1101 Center Avenue Mall in Fort Collins.
Thank you, Sarah. I'll see if my fellow commissioners have any adjustments. Commissioner Stevens has an addition.
I actually have a cancellation on Thursday, May 28th. We will not be having from 3 to 4:30, not be having the virtual non-attainment area air pollution mitigation enterprise meeting, so that's canceled. And then on Friday, let's see what time that is, from 11:30 to 1:30, we have the CCAT 2026 interim active issues and policy committee meeting. And that, I think, just popped up recently. That's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Stevens. Sarah, I need on Friday to add, also I will be at the, potentially at the CCAT issues meeting. I have that as a maybe, but that possibly I would join late. And then I'm going to be headed up really quick to the Estes Valley. We have a hold for the Estes Valley Library renovation. Been invited to do the ceremonial wall breaking. So that's at the library in the town hall complex. And that's Friday the 29th from 1 to 4, but I'm sure I'm only going to be there from like 1 to 2, 1 to 3. So I need to put that needs to be on the schedule. So I think that's all I have. Yeah. So thank you. Okay, we'll move on. Thank you, Sarah, again for reading through all of that. We're going to move on to the consent agenda, and as always, I like to explain that if you have more interest in the details on the consent agenda or about other items on this agenda, you can go to the Board of County Commissioners website where our agendas and the details of what's on the consent agenda are there on that agenda, and you can read more about any of these items because I'm going to go through these as a high level. And usually the consent agenda consists of items of no perceived controversy and routine administrative matters such as abatements, agreements, deeds, final plats, liquor license, resolutions, and other matters previously viewed by the Board of County Commissioners, and staff recommends approval of the consent agenda. And a commissioner may request an item be pulled off the agenda and considered separately. Items pulled off the agenda will be considered after the board takes action on the remainder of consent agenda. So I'm going to read through these very high level. We have some for our Tuesday, May 19th, 2026 consent agenda. We have an agreement, which is an amendment 1 to the contract between the Larimer County Department of Human Services and Maple Star, Colorado, doing business as Clarvita. And this is a request to amend the contract to extend a term of agreement through May 31st of 2028. We have appointments. We have a recommended appointments to the Workforce Development Board. And that is several names. And so we'll just leave those. There's several names listed. You can go through all of those. And those are reappointments. And then we have a recommended midterm appointment to the Workforce Development Board of 2 folks, and those are through 2027, and the other ones are through 2026 through 2029. We have a letter of support, a donation acceptance letter for the Department of Natural Resources of a $25,000 private donation to Larimer County for the River Bluffs Open Space Habitat registration, and this letter will confirm that Larimer County will not provide any services or goods to the gentleman who is donating this in exchange for this donation. and this is made exclusively for public purposes. And then we have a liquor license for a new issuance for Seed and Spirit LLC, and this is for Seed and Spirit Distilling in Fort Collins, Colorado, and it's a distillery pub. And then we have 11 stipulations for the 2025 tax year. I will not read through all 11. And then we have 2 resolutions. One is finding resolutions approving the Reese appeal that we just recently had a public hearing on May 11th, 2026. The quick turnaround, and then we had regulations relating to the deposition of abandoned personal property, and this is through the county attorney's office, and it's just, again, approval of a deposition of abandoned personal property. So that is all that's on our consent agenda for today. Colleagues, do you have any items you wish to pull? So Commissioner Kvalas, I'll ask you to make that motion, please.
Yes, thank you. I move to approve the consent agenda for May 19th, 2026.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Nope.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay, passes again 3-0. Did anybody have commissioner guests today? Nope. And then when there's no discussion items and none requested, we'll move on to the county manager update.
Thank you, Commissioners. It'll be pretty brief this week. I did a lot of internal coordination, but I had a meeting with the assessor, Bob Overbeck, and Sheriff John Fayen. Appreciate the time that they give me. Sometimes it's monthly, sometimes it's quarterly, depending on our schedule. So thank you to those two gentlemen. I also, along with Commissioner Kvalas, had the chance to speak to our new employees. New employee orientation is a great chance to talk about the way that the county functions and operates, how we collaborate with each other, with our partners. And it was a very full room this time. They do it once a quarter through HR now. And so there was a lot of folks from elected offices and other county departments, and watching them interact with each other makes me feel really good about the future of the county. They're already sharing information, and some were making plans to take a hike together. It was really a great group. I always get to speak and play a game of bingo, which talks about our county services and helps them familiarize themselves with things outside of the area they were hired to work. And then I think Commissioner Kvalas gets to do a little trivia game with them. So they have gamified our new employee orientation so that folks don't just have to sit there and learn about policy and sign off on things, but it's a lot of fun and a chance for them to engage. So congratulations to HR on the changes they've made to that. It is definitely a different vibe in the room, and it's a lot of fun to speak to this group.
Thank you, Lorenda, and sounds like a lot of fun. I can't wait I get to try that, but I know we usually had the trivia game, but maybe they've updated it. That's great. Colleagues, have any questions from Lorenda? Okay, we'll go on to Commissioner activity reports. We'll start with Commissioner Stevens.
I'm going to skip today. I don't have a lot to share. Just had several meetings last week and nothing of great importance, so thank you.
Great. Commissioner Kvalas.
Likewise, I will yield my time.
Okay, I do want to share some things because there's some important information. I attended the Colorado Whole Blood Coalition Advisory Meeting, which is part of the State Emergency Medical Trauma Advisory Services Committee, and this was looking at some research from this committee, and certainly we have some of that whole blood, Colorado whole blood system, and in some of our emergency services, medical services response, and the data is quite outstanding, showing saving a lot of lives, and that was really impactful for me to see, the work, and I appreciate all of the medical directors and doctors who have signed on to back this up and help some of these emergency services able to carry whole blood. It is a life-changing thing for folks, and you can go to www.coloradowholeblood.org to look at the data and learn more. Then we had our Loveland Urban Renewal Authority meeting. It was a long meeting and a lot of discussion about whether or not the audit and things would go forward. Compromise was given so that there's one area, some of the recommendations we're looking for written proof and policy changes from staff on some of those changes that were found with the previous audit, and also the compromise will let Loveland city staff do the audit, looking back at the Colorado part, the PIC and the Centerra Park West, because that was not looked back, that was not part of the previous audit. So we're going to go back and look at that all the way from 2008. So just wanted to update my colleagues on that. And so that was a long meeting, but important. And then we had our national environment, energy, and land use. We continue to talk about data centers and water and PFAS. So that's continued discussions. We're also getting ready for resolutions that will be coming forward with the summer national conference to have resolutions approved. And then on May 14th in the morning, I had this is different than the task force. This is the Mountain Pine Beetle Coalition meeting, which is sharing a lot of the data and some of the new information about the mountain pine beetle outbreak, which I have to tell Dr. Dan West, who is with the Colorado State Forest Service and also helps with the U.S. Forest Service. He was the first to sound the alarm last year about this outbreak. And every time he brings something new, and I learn something new, which makes me even more concerned. But there's certainly a lot of folks learning a lot, and it's going to be a time period where here soon there will be not a way to deal with them because they will be coming out of the trees and flying, and they can fly from a half mile to a mile to other trees. And we'll just see how these, and then we can't have to wait till fall till people can be actively trying to be preventative. But it will be a lot of trees will be turning brown this summer, which is unfortunate. Then we had our Older Americans Act, our Older Americans Month Award ceremony. I want to thank my colleagues for coming and joining, and it was a really wonderful, well done, great, amazing volunteers, Caregiver of the Year Award, a Volunteer of the Year Award, fantastic presentations. The Office on Aging Advisory Council did a great job at the Peridot Building in Loveland, and I just want to thank them for all the details and all the work they did. And you can go online and learn about those folks. Yeah, it was. I was really special. And then I traveled up to Estes Park and had a May mental health event in Estes with Mayor Hall, along with one of Ruth Krug from our Behavioral Health Services Workforce Development Manager, and we had a great discussion on ecotherapy and getting outside and how being outside can help with people's everyday mental health and how it can calm your nervous system and all the benefits of that. And it was a lot of fun to have that discussion. And I want to thank Ruth Krug and Mayor Hall for their wonderful, wonderful conversations. And we had some great questions, and that was really impactful. I wanted to thank the farmers market is, they're celebrating their 50th, open the Farmers Market this weekend, 50th anniversary. Very exciting about that. And so congratulations to all of those, Maggie and all of them who did a lot of work to make the first day very special. And then we had our May Mental Health Month event for the local book author to talk about her hiking journey on the Colorado Trail and some of the things she learned. She's from Fort Collins, and it was well received. We had a lot of folks come and ask, got some of her books, but also just they all left saying they really resonated and felt like that she was telling part of their story. And so a lot of folks left very impactful. We had people come all the way down from the Poudre Canyon to come to that. So I was really excited. And then I want to thank Heart and Soul. They gave a big shout out to the county. We sponsored the Asian Pacific Islander Desi American event. It was well attended, some fantastic dancing, music, performances. I was able to speak at a welcoming with some of the other electeds, and it was just a fantastic event, and I'm really proud that we sponsor Heart and Soul, what they do, these year-long events, and I want to thank them for, especially the volunteers. There's some new volunteers on that board, and they just do an outstanding job making sure it's a sense of belonging and everyone feels included, and there are a lot of youth, too, and a lot of kids running around, and there was art and active, even for adults, for things for us to participate in. It was a lot of fun. And then drove up to the Fire Station 7 for Loveland Fire Rescue Authority. We had Lori Hodges was there from Office of Emergency Management, and we also had Dakota from the Emergency Services Office. There was Thompson Valley Emergency Services. The city of Loveland came out to unincorporated parts of the county and had their bucket truck there and gave rides, and I thought that was interesting, and they were teaching about power lines. But it was really a lot of folks there, a community wildfire education event. They do this annually, and it's always a lot of fun to go connect with folks. We had a lot of great conversations. Even some of our nonprofit partners were there, and XL was there giving out weather radios, and it's always fun. And it's out there on by Masonville up towards Bobcat near Big Thompson Elementary, and it was great to see the community out. A lot of folks brought their kids and their dogs, and it was really cool. So I just really appreciated the work that they did for that. And then I think that's all I wanted to share. There's just a lot going on, and it's always, we get a lot of folks, a lot of activities and things happening, and it's going to be a busy summer, I think, with lots of activities. And so that's all I wanted to share. We have executive session, no executive sessions, no legal matters. And so unless there's more business before the board at 9:20, we are adjourned. Have a wonderful day.